Simpson. And Japan have gone absent without leave. This is Whitmore. Paul and Gale both available. It's still Whitmore. It is the Reggae Boys who take the lead.
Ball chat. Greetings, football lovers. Welcome to Ball Chat Podcast, a show where we review some of the week's major news in the world of football. My name is Benton, man in the ship again today. Come on is out and about doing some refereeing while Junior is managing a game. He's coaching some youth sports, so he's away this week, or maybe they'll join us later on in the show as soon as they get a chance. But you know how we do it, football family. We're going to discuss some of the week's major news in the world of football. As usual, at the top of the show, we're going to kick it off with Ballers and Bugs. Ballers been the impressive players of the week. If you have ballers, send them on. If you have bugs, send them on. Send on your ballers, the impressive players of the week, and send on the reason why they are ballers. You have bugs, unimpressive players of the week, send them on. And also let us know the reason why those players are unimpressive or the bugs of the week. We'll also do a deep dive or a recap some of the week's major news in the world of football. We're going to discuss Champions League second leg games coming up this week. We're going to preview those games. Take a look at the first leg action. What took place? Chelsea versus Real Madrid. Chelsea corner look dark, family, as Chelsea's on spot about a down 0-2 versus Real Madrid. We have Man City beating the brakes off Bayern Munich and left the one Mr. Sadio Mane and his teammate Leroy Sané in a spot about as man hit up, thump up, allegedly hit Mr. Leroy Sané in the face or on the lip. So a lot of discussion around that incident after the Man City versus Bayern Munich game. We'll discuss Champions League game and the fallout from that, and get ready for second leg games coming up. We'll discuss women's football. We'll take a look at the Reggae Girls. The Reggae Girls played a game this week. Junior and senior Reggae Girls were in action. We had the senior Reggae Girls who took on Sheffield. They defeated Sheffield 2-0. We'll discuss that game, take our thoughts on what we saw from the Reggae Girls as they get ready for the upcoming FIFA World Cup. We'll discuss Junior Reggae Girls action, as Junior Reggae Girls was in action as they defeated Anguilla 6-0. Big up to the Reggae Girls, Junior Reggae Girls, as they get ready to play Bermuda, as they're taking part in the CONCACAF U20 Championship Tournament. A chance to get into the next round for a chance for the 2024 Women's U20 World Cup. And we'll wrap up with Yard Ballers. Just some basic news around Jamaican football. We'll discuss the Gold Cup draw. Take a look at the Gold Cup draw and the group that the Reggae Boys is in, and along with the preliminary games that are coming up for Trinidad and other teams as they try to get into the Gold Cup. But we'll kick it off with Ballers and Bugs. And as usual, we have to big up to the family. Have to big up to all the listeners. Have to highlight the listeners. Big up yourself. Thank you for always listening in. Thank you for always joining in. Big up to Geraldo Haynes. Big up yourself. I see your bugs running in. Send on your ballers. Also, Mitoma is a baller for Geraldo. So send on your ballers and bugs. But before we get to ballers and bugs, family, you know, Ball Chat is all about the community. It's all about family. It's all about football. And so one of the big things that we at Ball Chat, we always embrace the community and we celebrate and try to do what we can to help out the community. And so the story struck us recently. We saw a story in the Jamaican Gleaner of the one young Mr. Jermaine Taylor. The story is in the Jamaican Gleaner. I don't know how many of you do read the Gleaner, but the story struck us. And the main reason why it struck us is that young Jermaine Taylor is in need of a pacemaker, and his family has started a GoFundMe account to raise a targeted fee of $40,000 to try to get that pacemaker for one Mr. Jermaine Taylor. So, football family, from your family to all our Ball Chat family, if you can do a thing, you can do a thing to contribute or at least share this GoFundMe link. The GoFundMe page is Pacemaker Replacement for My Little Cousin is the title. I cannot actually pull up the GoFundMe page here on this platform. I'm having some trouble with it loading, but if you go to GoFundMe, you type in Jermaine Nicholas Taylor. He's in need of a pacemaker. He's 5 years old. The target goal is $40,000. The family has already raised $8,000. I know some of the Ball Chat family will share, will chime in, will do their best in terms of trying to help this kid and their family ascertain or get the much needed pacemaker to continue his survival. Listen to deal with. And if AS Roma can do, one of the biggest things that AS Roma does in the world of football is to help locate missing kids. Usually when AS Roma does a transfer, they put up a missing kid and they put up their transfer target or their new sign transfer. And so those things are aligned with community. CM vibes here at Ball Chat. CM vibes here at Ball Chat. To reiterate, 5-year-old Jermaine Taylor is urgently in need of a new pacemaker, a situation that has forced the family to start a GoFundMe account to raise the necessary funds. If you go to GoFundMe, Jermaine Nicholas Taylor is his name. It started by the cousin. They're looking at a target of $40,000 US. They have raised, I think, over $8,000. I don't know them family. I don't know the family. I don't know anyone with the family. We at Ball Chat don't know anyone with the family. We're not affiliated with the family or with the GoFundMe alone. We saw the story in the Jamaican Gleaner and we just say, yo, if we can do a thing to help this youth and help their family, let's see if we can do it. Because you don't know if you can spread it or share it or contribute. Big up yourself. All right, let's get to the regular scheduled programming and get the ballers and bugs family. Send on your ballers, send on your ballers. Meralda Haynes got bug of the week. Chelsea and baller Mitoma. Chelsea already got the bug of the week, family. All right, so my ballers of the week. Let's get to my ballers. Have to big up my ballers. Bernardo Silva, big up yourself. Bernardo Silva of Man City. What a baller. Excellent display in the week again in the week action again in the midweek action in the Champions League. Salad, our nutmeg, our tunnel, one Mr. Alfonso Davis, and I also think he's salad and nutmeg, the one Mr. Kareska. 2 salad in a row. So Bernardo Silva was absolutely excellent for Man City as Man City rubber stamp Bayern Munich 3-0. Ball of the week to Bernardo Silva. Ball of the week to the one Mr. Nathan Atke. Nathan Atke, you know, Pep Guardiola recently said that Kyle Walker cannot understand. He doesn't understand the system, not cannot. He doesn't understand the system, so essentially his minutes is going to be rolled back. This idea of these inverted wingers or whatever the heck they want to play or whatever the system is. But to that end, Nathan Atke has moved out to the left side, has played essentially left back, and he's been outstanding. Outstanding. Had Kingsley Coleman in his back pocket. They switched Leroy Sané onto that side, and I thought Kingsley Coleman, Leroy Sané, CM treatment. So ball of the week to one Mr. Nathan Atke. Ball of the week to Sam Kerr, Chelsea Football Club. Big up yourself. There's, well, not Chelsea, the Chelsea ladies side of the football club. Big up yourself. Sam Kerr scored a winner. Big up yourself to Sam Kerr. And baller of the week. Let me one more baller for me. One more baller. Baller of the week to the Cherries. Bournemouth for snatching that victory against one Mr. Spurs 3-2 at the London Stadium. All right, Dalton Stewart running himself. Dalton says ballers, Brighton and Bournemouth. Big up yourself. And bugs for Dalton is Arsenal, Chelsea, and Cole Spurs. 3-3 bugs. Big failures. Big failures from those teams. We'll get into their mediocre week this week. Mediocre weekend's play. All right, ballers and bugs family. If you have ballers and bugs, send them on. I've highlighted my ballers. Since I'm the only one man the ship, let me just go ahead and kick out my bugs of the week. My bugs of the week. Arsenal Football Club. I mean, it's just, Arsenal is just confusing, to say the least. It is confusing. And what I mean by saying that it is confusing, what's going on with Arsenal. Last weekend, they led 2-0 against Liverpool. And yes, we know Liverpool have firepower up top. We know they have an excellent front three. So, yeah, the 2-0 should not have given up. But then I could understand that. But then step forward to that. 2-0 lead against West Ham. And the same thing again, Arsenal Football Club. Bugs of the week, man. This is absolutely unacceptable for a team that is trying to win a title. First title, Premier League title in 19 years, if my math is correct. First title in 19 years and you're wetting the bed? Come on, brother. And Arsenal has had championship moments already this season. I mean, Arsenal went to Aston Villa and won a game at the death when you thought that they were dead on that Jorginho goal, that ball ricochet off the back of Emi Martinez. Arsenal against Bournemouth. Many of us thought that they were dead against Bournemouth at home. And they found a way with that late goal, I think, from Reece Nelson and won that game. So they've had championship moments already. So, but today, I mean, it's just confusing. So Arsenal get a bug of the week for me. Yo, Upamecano, big up yourself, my brethren. Upamecano, Bayern Munich centre back, big up yourself. Dayot Upamecano. Fix up, brother. Fix up. Fix up. It's probably the worst I've seen Upamecano played. I mean, in the midweek game against Manchester City. Fix up. Fix up. And the errors was just comical. And I know the pressure was turned up. Man City was squeezing him a lot. And I want to squeeze a small bug to the midfielders. Kimmich and Leon Goretzka. And the reason why I'm doing this is that throughout that Man City versus Bayern game, I mean, there was a lot of time when Upamecano was always forced to be the one starting the play. And he was constantly getting hounded. My thing is that Kimmich is supposed to be a ball general. Go get the ball. You cannot be just a reliant on Upamecano to be the one being forced to distribute all the time. So I thought Upamecano rightfully should get the bug of the week. But I also thought Bayern's midfielders, Leon Goretzka and Kimmich, should have been there to give Upamecano, relieve him of that pressure and show themselves more for that football. So bugs of the week for those players. Bugs of the week again. Spurs, come on. Come on, Spurs. Come on. I mean, and maybe not Spurs. VAR again and Spurs and these little idiot calls where Tottenham is getting in football. Last week we sat here on the show and we spoke at length about VAR and issues around VAR. And we're seeing just blatant errors. And we accept, yes, humans, they're going to make errors. It happens. But again, Harry Kane was standing in an offside position on Dan Druma's goal in the 88th minute, blinding the sight of the goalkeeper. VAR looked at that and did not say it was offside. That one I cannot make up. I guess the only conclusion they came up with is that maybe the goalkeeper couldn't reach the ball. But I don't know if I don't even think that is part of the rule. And maybe Camone is going to have to explain this one to me. I don't think that's part of the rule. The rule I know is that the player standing in an offside position is interfering or blinding the sight of the goalkeeper. The shot is taken, goal scorer, offside. End of it. But unacceptable, not a poor decision from VAR official in the EPL. And I know Junior have said we shouldn't be seeing these things because that makes it more it's more an issue with the fans. It should be handled like how it's handled in Champions League, where we don't see the verdict. We don't see we don't see the accumulation of evidence. We just see the verdict. But this is foolishness. He's standing right there, And VAR is a big joke in England, rightfully so. All right, Dalton, big joke. All right, let's get to our EPL roundup and start off with Arsenal. Let's get to it. Arsenal, again, Arsenal football family. Arsenal, what do we make of Arsenal in our EPL roundup? Arsenal 2-2 again. You cannot afford to drop points. Mikel Arteta at the end of the game says, quote, speaking to Arsenal.com, says, quote, we have to look in the mirror. When a team is there for the killing, you have to kill, especially in this league, end quote. But how do you kill, Mikel? How do you kill? I mean, this team, goals from Jesus and Martin Odegaard, earlier on in the game. 7 minutes in, 10 minutes in, the first 15 minutes they're up 2-0. How do you kill the game off? Mikel Arteta saying that they should kill this team off, but almost Arsenal is giving me a vibes like even if they lead 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, they are not comfortable in this position down the stretch because the nerves, the pressure is starting to get to them. Is that what you are thinking? Is that what you're seeing, family? And I know Robbie Musto, big up to Robbie Musto and Robbie Earl and Rebecca Lowe of NBC Sports. They had a huge discussion about this. And, Robbie Earl was focusing on the issue with the Bakary Saka's penalty miss. And, he's saying that how does it affect the mental aspect of Bakary Saka and how does this affect his team going forward? But I thought Robbie Musto brought up a very important point, and it's something that I've discussed with others, is that for Arsenal Football Club, a team that is chasing a title in the stretch, defensively, they are poor. They are poor. They are giving up they gave up 2 goals today. They gave up 2 goals today, and they gave up 2 goals last week. You cannot win a title this way. You cannot win a title this way. So that is unacceptable from Arsenal Football Club. I mean, and I don't know what does that leave them in this title race. If we saw with Man City yesterday how Man City scored early against Leicester City. They were up 2 or 3 in the first 30 minutes or so. And they managed the game. They managed the game. They kept the ball possession, but defensively, when you look at Man City's back line, you have Ruben Diaz, Manuel Akanji, Nathan Atke, John Stones, and the likes. And you look at what's going on with Arsenal Football Club defensively. You have Saliba, which is out injured, so he's probably a huge miss. They have to bring in Rob Holding. And so Rob Holding is combining with Gabriel, and Gabriel gave up a penalty today. So, and the defensive issues is my biggest concern with Arsenal right now. Is that they are scoring goals, family. They are scoring goals, but the defensive issue is a big problem. Mikel Arteta says we have to kill games off. To reiterate his comment, he says we have to kill games off, but you can't kill games off if you cannot defend well. And I think Arsenal has a very good goalkeeper in Ramsdale, who's excellent, and he was very good today again between the sticks for them. But you have to be able to say defensively, we are secured in the back, we are firm in the back, we're not going to allow these free shots or free targets and goal. The second goal that Jared Boyne, I think, scored today. I mean, the man have time for chill. I mean, the ball was as just a chip over as they were coming out of a corner, and I'm trying to remember who played him on, but I don't know if it was Ben White or Tierney. Somebody played him on, and the man was free in on goal. I mean, I said, wait, this cannot happen. So. Unacceptable football from Arsenal. Unacceptable football. So Arsenal looks, and then the question ultimately for Arsenal fans, if you don't win this EPL, would this season be seen as a disappointment? Coming into the season, a lot of us didn't have Arsenal anywhere close to this title race, right? A lot of us did not have Arsenal anywhere close to this title race. So is this enough from Arsenal to know that, we've given it a fight, but this year is not our title winning year. Next year, we'll go again and recoup. Arsenal is giving me Atlanta Falcons vibes in the NFL. Atlanta Falcons in the team that led in the Super Bowl and just throw it away. Led by what, 20-something points in the Super Bowl and just throw it away against New England Patriots years ago. So Arsenal need to fix up. Big issue with Arsenal Football Club. Mikel Arteta says they have to kill games off. That's where it is. Talk is cheap right now for Mikel Arteta. They have to find a way to solve that problem. All right, continuing our EPL roundup, taking a look at some other results. Chelsea, and actually ball of the week to the one, Mr. Enciso. Enciso scored a goal yesterday, family, from about the parking lot. I mean, this was a rocket from way downtown. Mr. Kepa in goal for Chelsea had no chance. Important thing here is that I saw a stat where Frank Lampard, in his last 17 games, has a 6% win rate. 17 games as manager, is winning 6% of those games. This is including his time here at Chelsea. His what? Four games in at Chelsea, and his games at Everton. I mean, I had to go back and look at the stat. The last time he won a game as a manager was at Everton in, I think it was October or somewhere around there. It was somewhere late last year when they won that game. So Frank Lampard as a manager is in a very bad run. I mean, you have a 6% winning rate in your last 17 games. That doesn't spill a lot of confidence in the entire organization. And one thing that Frank Lampard did say in his post-match press conference, he said that, I mean, sometimes you have to give credit where credit is due. You have to give credit where credit is due. And to paraphrase, he felt like Brighton is a very good team. And, people can cast them aside as Brighton. But he felt like they're a very good team. So it's we have to make sure that we acknowledge how good Brighton is. He said as it pertains to his club, he felt like, some of the basics to the game, from a tactical standpoint, there are things that he and his coaching staff can work on. But from a football playing standpoint, he felt that some of the basics of the game is missing from his team. And he went on to say, if they're short or if they're lacking in these basics, then they're not going to win football games. And now we can all try to presume or assume what basics Frank Lampard is talking about here. Tackling, passing, because Chelsea is definitely lacking in those areas. I mean, just basic ideas of how to execute simple things. A 10-yard pass, short. 10-yard pass, too long. 10-yard pass, too strong. I mean, you saw this time and time again with Chelsea Football Club, and players just not executing the right basic. But I guess someone will say, well, they've had these basics, and they demonstrated these basics in other areas before or playing for other teams. So what is it about now? Why they seem to be lacking in this thing? I mean, it's got to be something where the coach should have to be able to kick this team on, because I mean, I thought they did okay in the Champions League, and we'll talk about the Champions League game coming up in a few minutes. But I thought they did okay in the Champions League game against Real Madrid. But as it pertains to the Premier League, they're lost at sea. They're absolutely horrible, and the results definitely shows that. What is important though, family? I also think that Frank Lampard is making a fundamental error, in the sense that he's trying to separate out his good team from his bad team. He decided to rent quite a few players for the Brighton game. He rested Thiago Silva. He rested N'Golo Kante. He rested, I think Kai Havertz was also rested. And I'm chuckling, as I said, Kai Havertz is one of their good players. And so he went with the so-called backups for this game. And I think this is kind of an issue. When you're in a place where Chelsea is right now, you don't have to. You don't need to rest players. Your fundamental responsibility right now, I think, is to select your best starting 11 and run with it. Game in and game out. Who is my best team? I look at what's going on in practice. Who are the best players? And then we go forward and can achieve the objective. Because right now, I cannot determine who's Chelsea's best or what is Chelsea's best starting 11. All right, football family, send on your comments or questions. We're taking a look at the EPL results. Let's get to look at the other results in yesterday's EPL or this weekend's EPL action. Other results that took place this weekend, of course, West Ham drew 2-2 with Arsenal. Arsenal dropped 2 points again. Nottingham Forest lost to Manchester United 2-0. Big victory for Manchester United. I thought Keylor Navas was absolutely outstanding. Though he conceded 2 goals, have to big him up. He was very good between the stick as usual. Keylor Navas doing good work at Nottingham Forest. And also, Dean Smith took the helm at Leicester City. They lost to Man City 3-1. Leicester City don't look good, family. Leicester City does not look good. Granted, they play Man City, but they're not competitive. It's just not a good-looking team. Not a good-looking team right now. And they seem to be on the verge of definitely one of those who probably going to get relegated. Other results. Aston Villa defeated Newcastle 3-0. Big victory. Big victory for Aston Villa. Chelsea, of course, lost to Brighton 2-1. Everton succumbed to Fulham 3-1. Southampton succumbed to Crystal Palace 2-0. Big up Roy Hodgson, coach of Crystal Palace. Picked up another victory, and I need to give myself a bug of the week for calling Roy Hodgson or Harry Redknapp last week. So Roy Hodgson, Crystal Palace defeated Southampton 2-0. Wolves defeated Brentford 2-0. One Mr. Diego Costa was on the goal scoring sheet. Big up yourself, old Diego Costa. And Bournemouth defeated the Cherries defeated Spurs 3-2. Football family, we have to big up Aston Villa. Unai Emery. Aston Villa is doing is on a really impressive run. If you look at Aston Villa's last 8 games, they've only dropped points in one of those 8 games. And that was a game against West Ham, 1-1. They defeated Newcastle, a very impressive victory against Newcastle. And a ball of the week to Ollie Watkinson. I mean, if Camon was here, Camon would always big up this youth. He's not tall, but he's a fighter. He's, a hustler. A youth will work really hard, and you give him a sniff at goal, he will score you a goal. So ball of the week to Ollie Watkinson. Big up yourself, youth. Definitely impressive week. Aston Villa's last 8 games, 3-0 against Newcastle, 2-0 against Nottingham Forest. They defeated Leicester City, they defeated Chelsea, they defeated Bournemouth, and they defeated Crystal Palace and Everton. So Aston Villa's Unai Emery is doing a magnificent job with this team. Excellent job. And it was only like sometime last year that they sacked Steven Gerrard. Was it October, November, thereabout, to bring in one Mr. Unai Emery or wherever. I cannot exactly remember the date when they brought him in, but he has been outstanding for this club, and this club looks like they are odds-on favorite to make it into one of those European qualifiers spot. I mean, they could squeeze in the Europa League. They should get in the Conference League if they continue to do this job. But they're playing some good football. I mean, this game against Newcastle, football family, I mean, a lot expected Newcastle to win this game. Newcastle pushing in for a Champions League spot. And Newcastle has, the one and only Mr. Isak back, and Isak has been scoring goals for them, has come back very good, and Newcastle just could not keep up with this team. They could not keep up with Aston Villa, and I know Aston Villa was playing at home, and that gives them an extra kick, but I thought it was very, very impressive by Aston Villa. All right, let's take a look at the EPL table. Arsenal dropped points in their last 2 games on the trot as the nerves start to kick in. Aston Villa sitting right outside that top 5 position, sitting on 50 points. They're 3 points back of Spurs. Spurs looking to be in a spot about Spurs definitely looking not very good this late in the season. Significant concern. And I want to give a bug of the week, One more bug of the week. We're just going to sprinkle bugs and ballers throughout the show today. One more bug of the week to all the Spurs fans who booed and continue to, hackle and hassle the one Mr. Davinson Sanchez. Yes, Davinson Sanchez is not playing the best football right now at Tottenham. But who is? Who is playing good football at Tottenham? Yeah, one could say probably Yeon-min Son is probably playing good, and Harry Kane will give you a goal. But the entire team is a bug team. It's a fundamental problem when fans starting to boo players, especially individual players who are putting in a shift. So, bug of the week to some of the Spurs fans who went off the deep end, I thought, booing one Mr. Davinson Sanchez during that encounter against the Cherries over the weekend. All right, at the bottom of the table, Nottingham Forest sitting on 27 points. Leicester City in 19th position, sitting on 25 points. And Southampton, the Saints, my Southampton, sitting in at the bottom with 23rd points. Ardonga back. I think Southampton look like them gone. Southampton look like usually when you're in a relegation fight, there are signs of hope, especially this late in the season, things that you can hang your hat on and say, yo, you look like we can stay up. I don't see anything like that from Southampton. Southampton, the goals, there's not many goals in this team. And, other than if you get a Ward-Prowse free kick or something or the other. So Southampton looks set to go down. Leicester City look like they might be catching the relegation bus too, because this does not look pretty. I know Dean Smith, former coach of Norwich, will get the best out of this outfit and with some time, but he doesn't have a lot of time. There are 7 or 8 games left in the season for these boys, so they have to get a kick on. So he doesn't have a lot of time. Everton sitting right above that relegation zone, just out of the relegation zone on goal difference. Leeds also above the relegation zone. Leeds will take on Liverpool tomorrow to wrap up the final weekend. West Ham on 31 points above the relegation zone. Huge point today for West Ham against Arsenal. Arsenal have one job, brother. Just get West Ham relegated, or help West Ham get relegated, and they went to bed today. So that point for West Ham was huge. Bournemouth, that victory over Spurs, definitely big things for Bournemouth. Wolves in 13th position, Crystal Palace in 12th, Chelsea in 11th position. Chelsea won't get relegated, but we know some of us wouldn't mind seeing it still. Chelsea won't get relegated. All right, football family. So that's the EPL roundup for this week. Let's step away from the EPL roundup and let's go over to some other news in the world of football. And let's step to Champions League first leg and get ready for Champions League second leg coming down. All right, Champions League quarterfinals took place in this past week. Man City defeated Bayern Munich 3-0. Man City defeated Bayern Munich 3-0. Man City was excellent. Of course, Erling Haaland scored. Bernardo Silva scored. Rodri with an excellent goal. As Reggie would have said, the bug score. rather with a top draw goal. Big up, big up. But of note, Erling Haaland scored what 47 goals this weekend, the highest number of goals across Europe top 5. 47 goals. I'm not normal. So 3-0 Bayern Munich got the tea kicked in by Man City. Inter Milan defeated Benfica 2-0. One Mr. Romelu Lukaku was on the goal scorer sheet. Big up yourself, Ram, and keep doing what you're doing, family. AC Milan defeated Napoli 1-0. Napoli at it again. We'll get to that one as we get to the second leg here in a second. And Real Madrid defeated Chelsea 2-0. All right, games that are still up to tie. Let's go through this thing clockwise. First up, let's look at this Man City Bayern Munich game. Can Bayern Munich come back from this game from a 3-0 deficit or 0-3 deficit? I doubt it. I doubt it, football family. I don't see Man City giving up this thing. I thought Man City was absolutely outstanding. They harassed Bayern Munich from minute one, and it's highly unlikely that Bayern Munich is going to overturn this deficit. The ball is rolling, of course. Speaking of Bayern Munich, there was an issue after the game. A little fracas, they want to call it, between Sadio Mane and Leroy Sané. Reports came out that Leroy Sané got hit in the mouth by one Mr. Sadio Mane. Both, of course, of Senegalese heritage. Sadio Mane, of course, is Senegalese. Leroy Sané's dad, Suleiman or Souleymari, is Senegalese and played for Senegal years ago. So they're definitely, from that background. So they can definitely, it's just like two yard man going at it. But from what it's worth, Thomas Tuchel really spoke at length about the issue and defended Sadio Mane, rightfully so. This is out of character for Sadio Mane. This is not the Sadio Mane we know. If it was Diego Costa, we would say yes, it's Diego Costa. This is in line with his behavior. But this is Sadio Mane. We don't know him as a player who historically have hit people, whether it's at Liverpool or when his days at Southampton or prior to that. And to that end, there were many games that Sadio Mane was upset with Mohamed Salah, and I'm sure said he wanted to thump him 9 fields, but he never did. So with that in mind, Thomas Tuchel defended Sadio Mane, said Sadio apologized, and the thing is resolved, and they have moved on. And he expected, and Sadio Mane will be in the squad for the game on coming up this week against Man City. He was suspended one game for this weekend's Bundesliga action, and so he'll return this coming Champions League game. But whether Sadio Mane, Leroy Sané, I don't see how Bayern Munich overcomes this deficit. I think there's just too much in that Man City midfield. When you look at the way Bernardo Silva is playing, Ilkay Gundogan is running from deep. And of course, Kevin De Bruyne is doing well. And I have to give Jack Grealish some credit. I think he's playing some good football. Very good football right now. So with the way Man City is playing, I don't see Bayern Munich winning this game or overturning this deficit, to more precisely. So Bayern Munich will be eliminated. Benfica versus Inter Milan. Yeah, man, that one seems like it gone. Inter Milan should win this one. I expected a little bit more from Benfica. This one seems like it's gone. Real Madrid versus Chelsea. Another one that gone. João Felix should have scored in that first leg for Chelsea. And again, he wet the bed. So, Real Madrid, Chelsea, this one look like it's already over. I know Stamford Bridge will be turned up on Tuesday night. But this is championship. This is football royalty, Champions League football royalty when it comes to Real Madrid. And watching that game between Real Madrid and Chelsea, Real Madrid it's almost like they never move out a second gear. It's just like them just go through the motion. Anytime Chelsea decide they want to step on them, they step it up another notch. And that's the thing that is it's somewhat impressive about Real Madrid, but it also can be a bit worrisome because if you're Carlo Ancelotti and maybe a Madridista, in the sense that the team can be so good in terms of how they play. You know, you get Vinicius, Rodrigo, Benz flowing, Mr. Tony Cruz and Modric pulling the strings. And then them just, sometimes them just kind of chill and they just kind of go through the motion. So I suspect this game on Tuesday when they play or on Wednesday when they play, they will probably just be like, okay, Chelsea, come at me. And if Chelsea push them, then they will try to score more goals. But I don't expect much from Chelsea in this game. Man City versus Bayern Munich and Benfica versus Inter. Those games are on Tuesday. Napoli versus AC Milan and is on Wednesday. And Real Madrid versus Chelsea is also on Wednesday. Now, the Napoli versus AC Milan game is probably the most confusing and frustrating game out of this group. Because, yes, on one hand, I can yield and said, yes, Napoli got fixed up by AC Milan earlier on the season, 4-0. But Napoli is playing some serious football. And now Napoli again got beat up by AC Milan 1-0. And the thing that is worrisome for me is that I want to see a good Napoli make it to the next round. Because I want to see the best possible football game in the Champions League. AC Milan make it to the next round, it's probably going to be like an idiot football game because AC Milan have who? What? Just a few little ballers and that's it. They're not really that competitive outfit right now. So it's a bit surprising that AC Milan won that first leg. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. Victor Osimhen's supposed to be ready for the second leg. Napoli drew this weekend. I expect Napoli to overturn this deficit. I'm going to predict and pick Napoli to overturn this deficit and move on to the semifinals. All right? And again, the semifinal matches would be potentially Man City Bayern Munich winner will play Real Madrid Chelsea winner. So that's the first semifinal. Currently, as of these results hold, it looked like Man City versus Real Madrid in semifinal 1. And then the other side of the draw, you're looking at Inter Benfica winner versus Napoli AC Milan winner. And if those results hold, we're looking at Inter versus AC Milan into the semifinals. So that's the Champions League semifinal roundup that we're currently looking at right now as the results stands. Champions League football coming up this week, Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday, Man City, Bayern Munich, Benfica, Inter. Wednesday, Real Madrid, Chelsea, Napoli, AC Milan. Those are the games on Wednesday. All right, let's step over to discuss some Jamaican football and let's get to the Gold Cup. Jamaican football, let's get into discussing football in our own backyard and take a look at the Gold Cup. CONCACAF Gold Cup slated for later on this year, kicking off, I think the date is June 24th to July 16th. And I said this before when it comes to the Gold Cup and with the Reggae Boys. Gold Cup, Group A. Reggae Boys are in Group A. Group A consists of United States, Jamaica, Nicaragua, and a winner of the preliminary, a winner from the preliminary rounds. There's a preliminary playoff game that will take place. I will show you those matchups in a second. Group B, Mexico, Haiti, Honduras, Qatar. Qatar is the invited guest, so they'll be playing out of Group B. Group C, we have Costa Rica, Panama, El Salvador, and winners of the preliminary matchup will play in Group C also. Group D, Canada, Guatemala, Cuba, and winners of the other preliminary matchup will play out. Um, I think this is a nice draw for the Reggae Boys. I mean, you're in Group A. Top two goes on to the next round. This should not be a difficult task. I mean, fundamentally, the Reggae Boys coming into a tournament like this, we've made a couple finals and not winning this thing. The Reggae Boys have to start going into CONCACAF Gold Cup with the sole objective of winning this tournament. This is not no unattainable goal. This tournament can be won, and the Reggae Boys should be one of those teams that's gunning come June 24th to try to win this tournament. And it starts off with the group play. Lay a statement, lay a marker when you play the US, because potentially you may see them later on down in the finals or semifinals or in the finals later on. And just beat them. I mean, at the end of the day, beat them, of course, it's not going to be difficult. It's not going to be that easy. But again, if you want to win trophies, and the Reggae Boys need to start winning trophies. And here is one trophy that is something that is attainable. The CONCACAF Gold Cup is an attainable trophy that the Reggae Boys can win. And I think with proper preparation, they can win this tournament if they prepare properly and go forth and execute. Of course, Tapa Whitmore took the team to two finals and lost, I think, was it like both of them against the US? I can't remember if both finals were against the US. But round one playoff games that will take place for CONCACAF Gold Cup. You have Trinidad and Tobago will play Guadeloupe. These games will take place June 16 and 17. Trinidad and Tobago will play Guadeloupe. Martinique versus St. Lucia, Curacao versus St. Kitts, French Guiana versus St. Martin, Suriname versus Puerto Rico, and Guyana versus Grenada. And so these are part of the preliminary games to get into the competition, into the Gold Cup final round of competition. Then the winners of match 1 will play winner of match 6. And winner of match 2 will play the winner of match 5, and the winner of match 3 and 4 will play each other, and the winner of each of those encounter will go on to the group stage of the Gold Cup. In terms of this preliminary competition, I think for Trinidad and Tobago, Angus Eve, we saw them against the Reggae Boys. They've improved, and so it's a good thing to see more of these Caribbean teams improving. Some of this is down to the Gold Cup, the Nations League. So we have to big up the Nations League for definitely fostering more minutes on the field for these teams. So big up to the Nations League, playing some good football. More football. Maybe good football is a stretch, but Trinidad and Tobago versus Guadeloupe, probably maybe the toughest of those preliminary games. Guadeloupe definitely have a French connection, so they will have access to players from France, and from my understanding, and I've watched Guadeloupe a few times, they can be competitive, and so Trinidad and Tobago have to be careful in this encounter. Curacao versus St. Kitts. Curacao, a team that has done quite well, and one of the bright sparks in Caribbean football in the last few or 5 years, did quite well I think at the last Gold Cup. Did so well that they went and hired, I think, Goose Hinnick to come in and help with their program. Goose Hinnick has since retired or stepped away from the program because of health issues. So, and one I can't remember the guy who took over, but Curacao Curacao should get past St. Kitts. Suriname versus Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico has been playing better. Suriname still the same usual suspect. We saw them against the Reggae Boys. We're gonna see how that one plays out. All right, let's discuss some women's football. I just want to update you. The Reggae Girls played Sheffield United and through goals from Chenya Matthews and Chantel Swaby, Reggae Girls defeated Sheffield United 2-0. You know what? It's valuable minutes. Reggae Girls need valuable minutes as they get ready for the World Cup. There's a discussion. I saw an interview with Dennis Chung about meetings and discussion with the players. Dennis Chung, the secretary of the GenSec of the JFF. By the way, big up to Ryan LFC who spoke to Dennis Chung. And so big up to Ryan LFC. Check out Ryan LFC YouTube channel who has that interview. Dennis Chung spoke about a camp coming up sometime in June. So as far the Reggae Girls preparing for the upcoming World Cup, that seems to be the plan, is that there will be a camp in June, and the camp will be held in Jamaica. Also, I think one of the players picked up an injury. I think it was Washington. I'm trying to remember which player picked up an injury and potentially could be out for the World Cup. So we'll watch the space. But overall, the game, there's not much to take from that game. I mean, it's good to score goals. Reggae Girls are in a tough group with Brazil, France, and Panama. So it's hard to expect the Reggae Girls to come out of this group going into Australia, New Zealand 2023. But the most important thing for me is to be competitive. It doesn't matter who you're playing, whether it's the Hervé Renards, France, or Brazil. You want to be a competitive outfit. So that's something I expect and I hope to see from the Reggae Girls. And with the game against Sheffield United, ladies, that's more minutes on the grass, more time to come together, and so hopefully that will contribute to becoming a more competitive team as they get ready for New Zealand, Australia 2023. Games. Young Reggae Girls are in action. Football family, young Reggae Girls are currently taking part in the CONCACAF Women's U20 Championship currently going on. Young Reggae Girls defeated Anguilla 6-0 in their first encounter. I will pull up the group here and remind listeners of the group that the Young Reggae Girls currently sits in. Give me 1 second here as I get this group and standing up. And so this tournament is essentially to make it into the final round of the current standing. Reggae Girls sitting in Group E. Reggae Girls sitting in Group E, tied on 3 points with Honduras. The other members of the group are Bermuda and Anguilla. Reggae Girls will take on Bermuda this evening at 9 p.m. Eastern, or 9 p.m. my time, and it's 8 p.m. Jamaica time. So 8 p.m. Jamaican time, the game will kick off, and it will be available on the CONCACAF platform. Whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, you can watch the game. Now, so the important thing for the Reggae Girls is this: you have to win, and you have to win as many goals as you score as possible. Big up to Tiny Shelton. Big up. She's a baller, and she's one of my favorite baller. I love watching Tiny play. Big up her. Big up. Love watching Tiny play. This tournament, essentially, the winner of each group, the winner of each group will advance to the next round. So the Reggae Girls, if the Reggae Girls want to have a chance to make it to the 2024 Under-20 Women's World Cup, they need to win the group. And so once you win the group, then you advance to the final round where two teams already automatically qualify. Mexico and the US automatically qualify. And so those two teams are awaiting the 6 teams from these groups, the 6 each group winner. And so the top 3 teams from that final round will go on to the FIFA U20 Women's World Cup. Group A in this U20 championship, you have El Salvador, Canada, St. Vincent, Cuba, and Martinique. El Salvador is currently leading Group A with 6 points. Canada is on 3 points. Canada still have time to catch up El Salvador there. Panama, St. Martin, Curacao, and Bahamas are in Group B. Panama on 6 points. Looks like the favorite and will win that group. Group C, Dominican Republic, Guyana, Suriname, and Dominica. Dominican Republic and Guyana sitting on 3 points. This is an interesting group. We saw Dominican Republic playing some good football against the Reggae Girls in the World Cup qualifier. A lot of those younger players, you will probably see some of them in this U20 tournament. In Group D, you have Puerto Rico, Trinidad and Tobago, Cayman Islands, and Guadeloupe. Puerto Rico and Trinidad and Tobago sit on 3 points. In Group E, you have Reggae Girls, Honduras, Bermuda, Anguilla, Reggae Girls, and Honduras, both sitting on 3 points. And in Group F, you have Costa Rica, Nicaragua, St. Lucia, Guatemala, and Belize. Costa Rica and Nicaragua both on 3 points. So the Reggae Girls will play tonight, 8 p.m. Jamaica time, 9 p.m. our time. They will take on Bermuda. And the bottom line is that the Reggae Girls must win this group. Win the group to play in, to have a chance to make it to the final, to the FIFA U20 Women's World Cup. I know the preparation has not been great, but I think there's enough talent in this team to win this group. Now, the only question is whether Honduras will be competitive as the Reggae Girls. But I think Reggae Girls is further along in the women's football space, as evident by the Reggae Girls, senior Reggae Girls, making it to the World Cup. So I don't expect the young Hondurans to defeat the Reggae Girls in this group. The Reggae Girls should win this group. So watch this space. The game is tonight. We're going to check it out. We're not going to do a watch along, but a lot of Jamaican commentators and vloggers will do watch along. Big up to MG Sports TV, Military Guna will do a watch along. And I know iMoxley TV, those guys will do watch along. So Reggae Girls will take on Bermuda tonight. And just watch my baller Tiny in number 7. She's gonna be an excellent player, excellent baller. That's it for me, football family. Hopefully I've covered some of the major topics, or all the major topics. If you have questions or comments, shoot me an email or shoot us an email and let us know if you want us to discuss something pertinent. I just want to remind listeners again, here at Ball Chat, we want to give a shout out. I want to promote this GoFundMe for one young Mr. Jermaine Nicholas Taylor, 5 years old. He's in need of a pacemaker. And so the family have started a GoFundMe account. If you go to the GoFundMe page, it says GoFundMe for Jermaine Nicholas Taylor. Their target is $40,000. They have already raised, I think, $8,000 or maybe $9,000. And Ball Chat does not have any affiliation with anyone or in this family or anyone associated with the GoFundMe. Ball Chat doesn't know anyone about this. We saw the story. This kid is in need of this pacemaker, and we felt like this is a good thing to highlight. So family, if you can do a thing and chip in or share, tell a friend about this GoFundMe. The GoFundMe link is GoFundMe. If you go to GoFundMe, type in Jermaine Nicholas Taylor, and you should be able to pull it up, and you see a very lovely picture of the kid. Pacemaker replacement for my little nephew is the name of the GoFundMe. He's in need of a pacemaker. Apparently he's received have some heart issues younger on, and he's had one, and now he needs another replacement. So do what we can, family, do what we can. Football coming up this week. Of course, want to reiterate, Reggae Girls will be in action later on tonight, 8 p.m. Jamaica time, 9 p.m. our time on CONCACAF platforms, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. You can check out the Reggae Girls. Reggae Girls playing in group with Bermuda. They will play Bermuda this evening. They already defeated Anguilla 6-0. They will play Honduras later on in the week. Reggae Girls just needs to win this group. Win this group, then they book their place to the next round of this tournament. Next round of this tournament slated for later on this year. The winner, the top 3 teams in the next round of the tournament will book their place to the 2024 Women's U20 World Cup action. We have Champions League football coming up this week. Wednesday we'll have Real Madrid and Chelsea. Well, Chelsea fans, good luck. Napoli and AC Milan. Good luck to all the Napoli fans inside the Maradona on Wednesday. And on Tuesday, you have Bayern Munich versus Man City. Boy, Sadio Mane needs to bring him a game and stop thumping people on their mouth. But go on. So Sadio Mane will be available for this game. Coach Thomas Tuchel said that he has apologized. He served his 1-game suspension, which was this weekend's Bundesliga, for thumping his brethren and Leroy Sané in the mouth. He'll be available for this game coming up this week. Also on Wednesday, Benfica versus Inter was the other Champions League game. Arsenal wet the bed again, family. Arsenal wet the bed again. You can connect with us on Instagram at Ball Chat Podcast. We're on Twitter at Ball Chat 1. We're on Facebook at Ball Chat. Always as usual, big up thanks to all the listeners. Really appreciate you joining us. Go on, take care of yourself, family, and remember, check out this GoFundMe. Share the GoFundMe for this kid. If we can help this family raise some funds to get that pacemaker for young Mr. Jeremy and Nicholas Steele, 6 years old, is in need of a pacemaker. So check it out on GoFundMe. It's a story in the Jamaican Gleaner that we saw. And if we can do our part to help this family, definitely take care of their kid. All right, football family, I that Bless up in yourself. Big up to Camon and Junior out the road. Come on, no brown envelope, Junior, bless up yourself out the road with the coaching. Hopefully your team did well. Football family, respect, bless up. We're going on the road, family.